Remembrance Day is an opportunity for all Canadians to come together and think deeply about the immeasurable costs of war, to weigh the sacrifices made for freedom, and to honor the memories and actions of Canadian soldiers. This year will be the first time in 100 years that Canadians will not gather together at the cenotaphs across the country to honor the sacrifices of Canadians, both at home and abroad.
This is a time to pause, to remember, to think about how war affects people. No Canadian soldier who served in the First World War is alive today, but we have their stories. We remember them as we remember the men and women who served in the Second World War, in Korea, and in many other theaters around the world. Today we must pay our gratitude to those currently serving in the Canadian military, as they are the reason we live in this beautiful, free country.
Good morning. My name is Simon Mennel.
And I'm Vanessa McLennan.
We are honored to be your Masters of Ceremony for this virtual assembly. We ask that you remove your hats, silence your devices, and please take a moment to pay your attention to the screen in front of you. We ask for respectful silence in recognition of the importance and spirit of Remembrance Day.
We respectfully acknowledge that we are on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Okanagan people. We are grateful to honor the sacrifice from Indigenous people and their contributions as Canadian soldiers and peacekeepers. Would you please rise and join us for the singing of O Canada, and remain standing during the singing of the Okanagan song and the blessing.
kusuk again. Ashli achaitum hu olah.
Why hast kokoach, why lemlemt koronchoten, apana iska. Is lemlemt die koronchoten, is el halhalt. Hui eat, klach klachap. Is lemlemt is ma mayam. Is ook na ma mayam. Lemlemt koronchoten, is lemlem item hulao. Is silk. Is lemlem di kulunchoten apana is ga. I thank you, Creator, for this morning. I thank you, Creator, for our day. I thank the Creator for our land and our water and our animals and our families and the kids that are in school and the teachers and all the people who are related for this day. And also for all our servicemen and women and our veterans that have gone and didn't come home. I've had a few of my uncles and aunties in the service, and some of them didn't come home, but most of them did come home on my side and on my husband's side. And it's always a good time to remember them, and to remember them for what they've done to keep our country free. They fought hard in all those wars, from World War I to Vietnam, to all of those wars in both our countries. They fought hard, they fought for freedom, and they were happy to go to war. A lot of them weren't even of age when they started fighting in the war. I thank you, Creator, that you have greeted each and every one of them into your kingdom, into their new home. And I thank you, Creator, for all you people here and all the people that are part of this celebration. I thank you to the elder veterans that are still here. I thank the people who put this together in remembrance of all of them. So I thank you, Creator, to bless each and every one of you. And yet you have a good day celebrating the lives of all our veterans, and shake their hands and say, thank you for your service. Why lemlemt?
War has touched the lives of every Canadian. Parents, children, friends, loved ones. Some died in action, others were wounded. And the ones who made it home spent their lives with the weight of physical and mental scars from war. Those who stayed in Canada also sacrificed, in factories, in voluntary service organizations, and wherever else they were needed.
Yet for many of us, war is a phenomenon seen through the lens of a television camera, or a journalist's account of fighting in distant parts of the world. Our closest physical and emotional experience may be the discovery of a wartime memorabilia in a family attic. But even items such as photographs, uniform badges, medals, and diaries can seem vague and unconnected to the life of their owner. For those of us born during peacetime, all wars and the sacrifices Canadians at home and abroad have made seem far removed from our daily lives.
then, as I said, we went to this the day with the CrossFit, and we went up to it was all open. And actually, when we advanced that morning, we were in the field, and I don't know what happened, but our tank got slowed down. We were the lead tank, because I was in the one, and the corporal was the tank commander, and the corporal always went first. He was always up first. And then, but we got slowed down in there, and the sergeant's tank, and in the sergeant's tank, a fellow by the name of Blah, French Canadian tank commander. And in his tank was my chum, a fellow by the name of Hatfield from Nova Scotia, and him and I, we chummed together all the time. And I'm telling you, there's no lie, they come up and they went just pretty well ahead of us. Come on. They got about as far as to the corner of that house over there, maybe, and they nailed it. And that's the last time I saw my buddy. I looked out through my little periscope I had on there, and I saw him on his hands and knees crawling. The sergeant had lost his foot, had blown his foot right off, and he lost the gunner. The gunner didn't get out. But I often think back, if we hadn't got bogged down, that shell would have been ours. And I looked at the one headstone, and I looked at that, and I thought, holy cripes. This guy was 80 years of age. The war ended in June, and he got killed in May. So that's sacrifice. He never had a chance in life, eh? It was snuffed out at him. And I think that's what you have to remember.
I vow to thee, my country, all earthly things above, entire and whole and perfect, the service of my love. The love that asks no questions, the love that stands the test, that lays upon the altar the dearest and the best. The love that never falters, the love that pays the price, the love that makes undaunted the final sacrifice.
My name is Janice Ashley. Doreen Valine. My name is Marina Ashley.
I'm Bill Wood.
My name is Alfred George Atkinson, Fred for short.
Why is Remembrance Day important to you?
It's important to me because it means that we live here. When I see what's going on in the world, I'm so glad that we do.
You have to be willing to sacrifice everything.
It means giving of yourself without expecting a pat on the back in return. You know, if we can remember this is what's made our country great. And for this reason alone, we should be so proud.
Pick one word to embody Remembrance Day.
The sacrifice.
Gratitude and freedom.
Silence.
Service.
Never to take what we have for granted.
And soul by soul and silently her shining bounds increase, and her ways are ways of gentleness, and all her paths are peace. I heard my country calling away across the sea, across the waste of water. She calls and calls my country, all earthly things above, entire and whole and perfect, the service of my love, entire and whole and perfect, the service of my love.
We often take for granted our Canadian values and institutions, our freedom to participate in cultural and political events, and our right to live under a democratic government. The Canadians who went off to war in distant lands went with the belief that values and freedoms enjoyed by Canadians were being threatened. They truly believed that without freedom, there can be no enduring peace, and without peace, no enduring freedom.
The poem Flanders Fields was written by a Canadian soldier, John McCrae, who served our country and fought for our freedom in the First World War. He, like so many other Canadians, met his end in the trenches of France, but his spirit lives on in his poetry. In Flanders Fields.
Au champ d'honneur.
In Flanders Fields the poppies grow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below.
Nous sommes small, nous qui soignons la vieille encore. À nos parents, à nos amis, c'est nous qui repensons ici, au champ d'honneur.
Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high.
Acceptez le défi, sinon les coquelicots se faneront, au champ d'honneur.
By remembering their service and their sacrifice, we recognize the tradition of freedom these men and women have fought hard to preserve. They believed that their actions in present would make a significant difference for the future, but it is up to us to ensure that their dream of peace is realized. On Remembrance Day, we acknowledge the courage and sacrifice of those who serve their country and acknowledge our responsibility to work for the peace they fought hard to achieve.
Last Post is played to mourn the dead, to honor those lost in wars, skirmishes, and battles, both near to home and across seas. This will be followed by a moment of silence, after which Rouse will be played. Rouse is played to signify that the living are going back to duty after having paid respects to the fallen soldiers.
We must remember, if we do not, the importance of the sacrifice of countless Canadian lives will be lost to time. They died for us, for their homes, their families and friends, for a collection of traditions they cherished and a future they believed in. They died for Canada. The meaning of their sacrifice rests with our collective national consciousness. By remembering all those who have served, we recognize their willing endured hardships and fears, taken upon themselves so that we could live in peace.